Welcome to FOH, Kenny, this week, Sunday morning edition. We got the Romeo and Julieta Hidalgo. Ever. Hey, you've been for a run, you've had brekkie, you've done your exercise.
For ages, didn't have brekkie, have done the exercise bike.
Brilliant. Just got back from exercise myself to be faced with this Romeo and Julieta Hidalgo, which is it? Yeah, well, that's a 57 ring gauge.
And it's got, honestly, this looks like it should be around a heavyweight boxer, as is those ridiculous belts.
And you know what? I love this band. This band looks pretty cool.
Of course you do.
Well, no, I don't mind the band. I thought, you're right. Look, it's something that Sugar Ray Leonard would have worn at his peak. Mike Tyson, yeah. It's and I love the Hidalgo.
Sugar Ray Leonard. It's too big for him.
You know, but it does look like a shotgun shell, doesn't it? It's.
I wouldn't know.
Oh, come on, Ken. We know you've got a love of firearms.
Sorry.
But I like the detail. If you look at the bottom band, and I don't mind these bottom bands. Look, I don't need them. But if you're looking for
this is the bottom band?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this is the Linea de Oro. So there's 3 cigars from Romeo and Julieta in the Linea de Oro. You got the Diana, which is named after Day. You've got the Hidalgo, and then you've got the Noblesse. And this is, I think it's 125 by 57 gauge, which is just a remarkable size. But hey, we've had big cigars or big gauge cigars we've actually enjoyed, and this is one. But I like the Linea de Oro. What I do like about the bottom, the number one damage to retard is at the foot of the cigar. That's always the number one damage when you're shipping cigars, etc. And that's certainly, I'm not saying that it stops people, it stops the damage to the cigar, but it stops people from finding it up front. So I'm a huge fan of them. All right. We'll be back with you at the end of the film. But hang on, let's just go through the construction. Is great. Can you just clip it? There's about 10 grams of tobacco.
Clip it. Quite seriously, you would need a chainsaw or garden shears for this thing. I don't think I've ever in my life felt a more solid, firm cigar.
I reckon it's going to draw perfectly.
Oh, it may well, but at the moment, this thing, I mean, you could use this in a bank robbery and belt some. They'd go down like a sack of spuds. It is the most firm, solid cigar I have ever seen.
This could be the shortest review ever because he's only got the one cigar. Okay. Kenny, see if it draws.
This is it.
Just get into it.
A few exercises.
This is not something Habanos wants to see. Now we're playing around with that.
They went out of business.
No. They're trying to put me out of business. Actually, it's a lovely looking cigar, yeah?
I quite like the look, except you're thinking, hang on, wouldn't it be nice if it was half the size?
Oh, where'd the fun in that be?
This is like walking up to an old friend you haven't seen for years and saying, when's it due? And she looks at you and says, when's what due? That's what this reminds me. It's that big and fat, and it'd be nice if it wasn't.
So it reminds you of a pregnant woman.
Well, perhaps we shouldn't go down this track.
Do you actually go up to pregnant women to ask when is it due?
I did ask one old friend. I said, when's it due? And she said, I've had it.
Oh, that's what I love about you, Ken. Tact. You are good. Tact. How's your draw? How's your draw?
Well, we haven't got. firm, but it's possible.
It's doable, yeah. Which is, I like that. I mean, imagine this, people. A well-packed cigar that you can't squeeze between your thumb and your index finger that actually draws perfectly well. That's actually called quality and construction. Well done,
You're spot on. The bottom thing was actually hiding a stuff wrapper cracks and things.
Love that. Love it. Too late now. You took it off. You can no discount. That's it. You're taking it off, Kenny. No discount. Could have happened. You could have done it yourself, taking it off. We'll be back with you at the end of the first third. Kenny, first third of the Hidalgo. Beautiful bird.
Hey, yeah, bird's not bad. Yeah. Look, it's very young and getting that sort of very young sort of character coming through, a little bit of bitterness and stuff, but there's enough sort of honey and cream and a bit of sort of dried fruits and things that are there to suggest to me that, you know, if you put these away for 12 months, it'd be a far better cigar.
Actually, I actually had these. I took these down to Sydney, and I had this box with John S, Fuzz, and Jason down there. We took, and exactly, we thought the same. There's an element of youth to it, but it's almost, you can see you can taste all the flavors in there. They're just muted at this point. They just need a little bit of time where the time capsule will release them all. But there is an element of class in there. You can see the class in this cigar. I'd say 3 years, to be fair. I'd say this one, you can put this one down for a little while. It's got a lot of legs, people.
But you want to give it at least, you're smoking them now, you're probably wasting them.
I wouldn't be smoking too many of these now.
No.
The presentation is spectacular. Everything from even the box presentation is stunning. The cigar construction is probably some of the best that I've seen in Habanos for a long period of time. And Ken thought it was plugged. It wasn't plugged. He didn't say it was plugged. It was filled to the brim.
Oh, no,
it was done perfectly well. Yeah, it was just done perfectly well.
Unbelievably solid. You could have thrown it and broken a window.
And it wasn't too long ago where if you got a cigar from Habanos that was absolutely solid, you would have to throw it through a fucking window because it was just being overfilled. This isn't overfilled. This is done properly. This is the way the Nicaraguans do it, in terms of good, solid construction. So I was at and I think you'll see if this goes a little bit the way the ones we had in Sydney went, you'll have a bit of a change in the second third, but not much. But yeah, I wasn't overly impressed in the first third. I was far more impressed in the second third the last time I went through this.
That's nice. I mean, at the moment it's certainly fine.
Very good. I mean, it's if I wasn't looking at price and I didn't freaking hate the size, I'd be putting a couple of boxes of these, or 3 or 4 boxes of these away for that. Then again, would I smoke them? I don't know. See, I don't smoke this size, but I do love this profile. I love that flavor profile. I know where it's going to end up. I just know where it's going to end up. And I want to be there when it gets to that point. At least I want to try some when it gets to that point. We'll be back with you at the end of the second third.
Well,
second third, Kenny, did you get that little uptick in body and a little uptick in flavor?
Little, not as much as I was hoping. There's a bit of orange rind coming through. There's also a bit of sort of that earthy tobacco-y note. It's not dirty, but it's not as fresh in the sense of pure flavors and things as I would have hoped. But I think what we said before about stuff being there is right. There's a lot of stuff there, and once this sort of very young, I mean, do we know the code for this?
Yeah, sorry, I think it's TLE March 21, so 12 months.
Yeah.
Which surprises me. It's smoking a bit younger than that for me.
It is, yeah. I was expecting this year. I think, well, maybe they had designed this for the long term, and there's nothing wrong with that. Having a few cigars in the portfolio that you really put away. I think
sit down and put away.
Yeah, I think if that's the intention, I'm 100% on board. But you got to know that that's the intention. There's not much point in buying them to smoke next week and then
Sorry,
finding out.
I'll introduce you to the Habanos marketing department. Yeah, there is no they don't give you shit. Yeah, in terms of what their thought processes are for any of this sort of stuff.
No. Well, I told you when I went one of the trips that I went. I don't think you might have been on that one, but I went to their big meeting for the release of the annual meeting to discuss what was happening. And the guy got up and they said, "Well, I'll introduce you. And this is an era of transparency. This is an era where whatever you want to know, anything you just ask us, and we are here to help you." And someone got up and said, "Well, how many cigars do you expect to produce this year?" We're more than happy to tell you that. More than last year, but not as many as next year. That was the answer. That was transparency. Seriously? Politicians give more away.
They actually stopped telling people how many cigars they produced I think about 5-6 years ago now. Now it's just dollar value.
Yeah, well, this was 15 years ago, whatever it was.
Yeah, I know. Great days. Yeah, they haven't improved, Kenny. They got worse.
This was in stitches. And I swear they all thought that they were doing a wonderful job of telling us what's going on.
Oh, they all think they're doing a wonderful job.
Yeah.
They think they're all doing a wonderful job. We'll be back with you at the end of the last third. Kenny, coming towards the end of this Hidalgo now, Romeo and Julieta, I'm going to give it a solid 89.
I was thinking 88. It's got quite hot. But I think it's got huge potential.
Upside.
Yeah. But at the moment.
So I'd be interested to try the other two, yeah, to see whether they're all blended along the same format. So we'll do that. You've got a Diana there. We'll do the Diana or Diana or Diana. We'll do it in the next couple of weeks. But it'll be interesting to see whether they follow that same format or whether it's a very, very different cigar.
Well, I assume you've looked at all three.
I've smoked all three, but I still haven't formed an opinion on all three. I'm now formed an opinion on this one here. It's about my 4th or 5th of the Hidalgos. And I'd say, yeah, this is, to me, it's a 3 years, put them away, don't even look at it. Just don't even look at it for that period of time. But it is one of the few cigars I actually look forward to trying in 3 years. I think it's got some real surprise there to it.
Oh, yeah.
The others are a bit. I found the Diana to be a lot lighter than this, but that was really, I've only had the one, so the second one would be with you. Very good.
Just do them tough.
Worst ways of spending a Sunday morning.
Sunday morning
in Brizzy Town. Much worse ways. Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it, and I'll catch you next week.
I'm just here to serve.
To all of FOH, have a fantastic weekend. Hasta luego. Cheers.